They seem like a healthy bunch, don't they? Getting in lots of fresh air and exercise.
But what they mightn't realise is that by being active, they're protecting themselves against the world's leading bone disease, osteoporosis.
The word osteoporosis literally means porous bones. Osteoporosis is a silent disease that affects men, women and children of all ages.
Yet there seems to be a lot of confusion and misconceptions about it, especially amongst younger people, like us.
I'm too young to worry about osteoporosis.
The worst that can happen is a broken bone.
By the time you know you have osteoporosis, it's too late to do something about it.
Men and children can't get osteoporosis.
I've got nothing to worry about. Only old people get it.
Only old people? Forget it.
Anyone can get osteoporosis, no matter if you're male, female, young or old. So let's check out what exactly osteoporosis is.
So what does the human skeleton actually do?
The human skeleton forms the structure around which the entire human body is built. So it's obvious that healthy bones are essential for a healthy body. The important thing about bone is that if you don't use it, you lose it.
Most of the bone we have is laid down between the age of 8 and 20. So if you're not very active between those ages, you won't lay down as much bone. Lazy people will have a much lower amount of bone. They reach a state that bones will break easily, much earlier than people who do regular exercise. This is known as the osteoporotic fracture level. Bones, if you don't use them, you lose them, no matter how old you are.
And now it's time for a special report from our roving reporter as he attempts to find out more about osteoporosis.
Can I help you?
Oh, hi. I'm just looking to find out as much as I can about osteoporosis. Like, what actually is it?
Well, osteoporosis is a silent disease that affects a lot of people, men, women and children. It's a disease that makes your bones very brittle, so they're very fragile and they break very easily. What I can do is show you an example. These are called vertebrae, and they are the bones in your spine. They run from the top of your neck to the base of your spine. This is what normal bone looks like. It's a cavity with holes in it. However, when osteoporosis develops, what happens is the holes in the cavities become larger and larger.
But I thought your bones couldn't change.
Yes, they can. Bones change over age. Usually as people get older, your bones get weaker and weaker, but your bones can be affected by medications or by certain diseases. And that's where a lot of people don't realise that they're at risk, because bone is living tissue. What happens is the first bone goes and the head goes forward, the second bone goes and the head goes forward again, and it just keeps on going and going and going. Okay. However, osteoporosis is preventable, so it's very good at your age to get information now to protect yourself and also to tell your parents and grandparents.
Can I get it?
Anybody can get osteoporosis. People think that it's an old woman's disease, however it's not. We have 5-year-olds, 8-year-olds, 12-year-olds. Usually at that age it's due to medications or diseases. However, anybody can be affected, but it's preventable, it's treatable, and it's actually reversible in certain cases. Let me show you, I have an example. This is what a normal bone should look like.
Okay.
These are the cavities with the holes. When you've osteoporosis though, the holes get bigger and bigger. However, you won't know because it's a silent disease. You can have no signs or symptoms at all, and then all of a sudden, if you break a bone from a trip and fall, that's a big red flag. It's not normal at any age to break a bone from a trip and fall. Well, you try and break this, because this is what happens to people with osteoporosis. The bones break very easily. And this is an example. Usually the bones in your spine, in your hip and your wrist are the first to go. It can affect anywhere. However, like I mentioned, the most important thing is it's silent. You will not know that your bones are like this unless you get a DEXA scan, which is the only test that we recommend for diagnosis of osteoporosis.
So a DEXA scan is the best way to find out whether you have osteoporosis? Better check out what's involved.
that wasn't too bad. It didn't even take too long.
No, only 5 minutes.
And did it hurt or anything?
No, I'm fine.
That's great. And like you can't feel it on you, or no, it's just like a light.
No, you just lie there and the machine does all the work for you.
Did you ever have it done before, or is this your first time?
I've had it done once before.
Oh, so you came knowing what to expect.
Yeah.
So there's no after effects? You don't feel sick or anything after that?
No, I'm fine and I can just go home.
We now know what osteoporosis is, so let's talk about the main causes.
There are many reasons why people develop osteoporosis. The three main reasons are lack of exercise, poor diet, and abnormal hormone levels.
Normal levels of estrogen in girls are essential for healthy bones, but severe dieting, excessive exercise, and too much stress can affect hormone levels. Continuously missing periods could be a sign that all is not well. Do not be afraid to talk to your mum or dad before you consult your family doctor.
Low levels of the male hormone called testosterone can increase the risk of osteoporosis too.
Osteoporosis is not only about an imbalance of hormones, though.
The way you live your life is just as important.
Say no to cigarettes and alcohol. Apart from all the obvious downsides, both are really bad for your bones. And while exercise may be good for your heart, it's also very important if you want to develop strong bones.
Ask your parents if there is a history of osteoporosis in your family, and your GP can answer any other concerns you might have.
Once you know the full story on osteoporosis, you can start taking steps to avoid it.
You knew this was coming, didn't you?
When you think of healthy bones, you think of calcium. And when you think of calcium, you think of milk.
Dairy products are the richest source of calcium, and we all need to include them in our daily diet. Teenagers, like us, should have at least 4 servings a day.
A lot of teenage girls think that milk is a fattening food, but that's wrong. The calcium content of skimmed milk, or low-fat milk, or low-fat cheese, for example, is exactly the same as that of full-fat milks and cheeses. There are also milks available with added vitamin D, which is needed to absorb the calcium. So there is no excuse for cutting out these foods at any stage, dieting or not.
So what are we doing first?
We're going to do a yellow nutter, which is a really cool smoothie. It's really nice and it's quick and simple and really tasty. It's full of calcium. We're going to put milk, ice cream. There's also peanuts, which contain calcium as well. So chuck in the 2 bananas.
Just pour this in?
Yeah,
or?
pour it in. Bung everything in. And can you scoop out 2 spoons of that peanut butter for me, please? Okay, and we want 2 scoops of ice cream. And the more ice cream you add, the thicker it's going to be. We might have to add a bit more milk. Pop the lid on, give that a whiz.
Okay, are we done?
Yeah, we're done. Pop them in. Now, how long did that take? 3 minutes?
Not even.
Yeah, nice and simple. Cheers.
Cheers.
Pretty
That's
good,
really
isn't it?
good, yeah.
And if you don't have time to make your own, you can always buy one in one of the juice bars or the smoothie bars. They're all over the place now. So there are other dairy produce, obviously, besides milk and ice cream and stuff like that. Yeah. Cheese is really good for you. There's all sorts of cheeses. I'm going to do a quick snack. Okay. It takes 5 minutes to cook. It's called a croque monsieur, and basically it's a fancy toasty.
Okay.
So it's dead easy to make. If you grate that there for me, and I'll... people maybe who don't like so much cheese because they might think it's very fattening, but actually you can get low-fat cheese now, low-fat milk, everything, and it has just as much calcium in it as the full-fat version. So put some ham in. So I'm going to trim off the fat. It's about enough cheese, so if you pick up the mayonnaise there and give a good squirt, about 2 tablespoons full,
Into the cheese?
Yeah, into the cheese. Okay, good man. And grate in some pepper, and I'll put in just mill in some pepper, and I'll put in some mustard. We'll give that a good stir. It dries up under the grill, so the wetter the better, really. So I'm just going to spread these here on top of the ham. It's nice and even. We'll pop it onto the grill. You need to kind of watch it because it'll burn on you if you don't. So
do you just judge by how melted the cheese is?
Yeah,
really?
basically when it's nice and golden. I mean, there's nothing in it that will, that doesn't need to be cooked. Okay, do you want to take a bite?
Yeah, I'd love to. Thanks.
What do you think?
That's really, really good.
Good. Some of your friends, you mightn't know this, but they could be lactose intolerant, which means that they can't really break down dairy produce. So there's other alternatives, like this is orange juice with extra calcium in it. And also the leafy greens are really good for you. Nuts, sardines actually are really good as well. Any fish that you digest the bone in, like some smoked salmon as well, would be good. White bread also, believe it or not, actually has more calcium in it than whole wheat bread. So we're actually going to use some pita bread and we're going to make a nice tuna sandwich with all these ingredients here. That's tuna. So what I want you to do with that is just mash it up a little better with a fork. I'm going to squeeze in some mayonnaise for you.
Okay.
So keep mashing. Okay, I'll put some pepper in. Scallion. And just finely slice that. Do you like tuna?
Yeah, I love tuna.
Dolphin friendly tuna, of course.
Yeah.
Okay, so pop it on the plate there. And actually, if you wanted to put a bit of cheese in with the tuna, a little bit of Parmesan would be nice to give it that tangy flavour. I'll put the basil on like so, and then I'm going to chop up the tomatoes. And with the cherry tomatoes, you can leave the little stalk in.
Okay.
And for an extra bit of crunch, you can put some sesame seeds or some pine nuts. Take a bite of that. So a sandwich like this and a smoothie will give you your required amount of calcium for the day.
That's really, really nice.
So everything we made today is very easy to prepare and it's very fast, quick and easy. You saw how simple it was. We made the lovely tuna sandwich in the mayonnaise, in the white pita, and also the croque monsieur and the smoothies. The next time your mum and dad are going shopping, just make sure there's lots of dairy, like cheese and yogurts and things like that, and you'll be fine for calcium.
Okay, so enough calcium in your diet is very important, but there is much more you need to do to prevent osteoporosis.
Exercise, exercise, exercise. And if playing sports really isn't your thing, there's loads of other ways to get active.
But the easiest weight-bearing exercise is walking. So walk to meet up with your mates.
Walk to the local shops.
Or you can walk your dog.
Or walk to school instead of getting a lift.
Or walk to the park on a nice day like this. All forms of exercise are good for you. Some are better than others. Swimming, for instance, is great crack, but it won't help prevent osteoporosis.
Probably the nicest way to prevent osteoporosis is just by hanging around in the sunshine.
Sunlight contains vitamin D, and vitamin D is essential for proper calcium absorption. All you need is 15 to 20 minutes of sun a day on the face and arms during the summer months. But be careful not to stay out in the sun too long to avoid burning. Vitamin D can also be sourced in oil-rich fish like salmon, mackerel and trout.
You don't just get your vitamin D doses from hanging around your house, playing the PlayStation or watching TV. You have to get up, get out and get active. Just make sure you don't hurt yourself or anyone else.
Hi, Aoife.
Hi.
What happened to you?
I was playing hockey and I fell.
Oh, did you? Okay. I like the nail varnish. What's the idea of different colours on each finger?
It's cool.
Cool. Is purple your favourite colour?
Yeah.
Do you want a colour cast then? I have purple.
Yeah, please.
How about that colour there, okay?
Yeah.
They're cool?
And how long will Aoife have to wear the cast for?
Oh, Aoife will have to wear it for 6 weeks now, because it takes bone 6 weeks to heal. Was it a hard fall, Aoife?
Not really, it's just I felt really weird.
Oh, did you? Okay, because it's not normal to get a fracture from a trip and fall. Maybe your mum and dad could take you to maybe your GP, and your GP could follow it up. It might be a sign that maybe your bones are weak.
Yeah.
And just hold on to me firmly, okay? And it's just settling now. Is that a groovy colour for you now?
Yeah.
Hey?
So did it hurt when you got it put on?
No, it's just a bit heavy, but otherwise it's fine.
And can you still ride on it? I know it's a bit dark, but maybe...
A lot of the kids today kind of use Tipex because the Tipex will show up on the...
And that won't affect the cast?
No, the kids come in with all different designs on them. We see the artists of tomorrow coming in.
Say if you break the arm you write with, would you be able to like write, or would it be bad for the fracture?
No, it wouldn't be bad for the fracture. The more exercise you do with your finger, it's the finger movements that you want to keep going. It just keeps your muscles supple, so it does. We'll see you again in about a week's time, okay? Because we'll just look to see if the fracture has moved or anything. The doctors will look at your x-rays.
Yeah.
Okay?
Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.
Osteoporosis is a silent disease, and it's not only old people who get it. So looking after yourself from a young age can prevent it.
Osteoporosis has its roots very early in teenage years, but it may not show up until later in life.
It's a condition that leaves the possibilities of serious fractures.
It affects men, women, and children, but it can be avoided. Healthy bones require normal levels of estrogen in girls and testosterone in boys, adequate calories, weight-bearing exercise, calcium, and vitamin D. Take more care of yourself in the years that matter and avoid the consequences. Osteoporosis as an adult.
And remember, a healthy lifestyle doesn't just improve the health of your bones, it improves the health of your skin, your heart, and your overall physical condition.
So remember, if you want to look like that when you're older, start doing it now.